Well, the DOJ just dropped a bombshell about Donald Trump's would-be assassin that you guys have to hear about. Not only that, but a new set of assassins has just been revealed, and you guys are going to be floored when you find out exactly what I'm talking about. But before I dive into some of that, I've got to give you the latest on the update with the Supreme Court. This is what I'm going to dub a small victory for Donald Trump. There's a lot of conservatives and people out there said this is a huge victory. Well, I've got my reasons for not saying it's a big victory. But anyway, the Supreme Court sides with Trump over Venezuela deportations, but requires process. And that's the key for each case. The Supreme Court on Monday sided with the Trump administration's request to halt lower court Judge James Boasberg's order stopping Trump from deporting suspected members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua under the Alien Enemies Act. Okay, so basically, Judge Boasberg, who is a straight up dictator, in my opinion, has come out and said, hey, you're not allowed to send gang members back to Venezuela. No, you have to keep them here in the United States. The other courts agreed with them. It went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court goes, nope, you can send them back. However, it comes with a disclosure. And here's the disclosure that I'm talking about. And this is in that same article that I just showed you. And here's what it says. We grant the application and vacate the temporary restraining order, the court said in its unsigned 5-4 opinion. And while this may be a win for Trump, its impact was muted by the fact that detainees must be given due process before they are deported. AEA detainees must receive notice after the date of this order that they are subject to removal under the act. The notice must be afforded within a reasonable time and in such a manner as will allow them to actually seek habeas relief in the proper venue before such removal occurs, the court wrote in majority opinion. So in other words, they are able to seek court. They are able to go to court. And habeas relief, just to give you an idea, refers to a legal remedy that allows a person who is detained or imprisoned to challenge the legality of their detention in court. It's a way for individuals to seek release if they believe their imprisonment is unlawful, right? So that's what that is. In other words, it's going to be very hard to deport people if they can take it all to court. It's going to be a very long time before we actually get to the bottom of all of this. So I think this is a very muted win. While it is a win in our right direction, how the hell is he going to accomplish a lot of what he's trying to do here? So just a food for thought there. I don't take that as a huge win, but that aside, and it's a story I had to share on today's broadcast, I got to get into the latest shocking details that was just dropped by the DOJ. But before I do, I got to remind you, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are subbed here. YouTube likes to unsubscribe people. Not only that, but hit the like button and share this video with everyone you know. Better yet, go to restrictedrepublic.com, sign up today. I created this in light of all the censorship that is happening, and I've got some bombshell reports on there. I'm not posting them anywhere else. You can get this for less than a cup of coffee, $5 per month. Use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5. Justice Night is on there as well. But this is a way to support what we do and just keep us here on air with you. So get to restrictedrepublic.com and sign up now. But with that, what is this DOJ bombshell? Well, they dropped a bombshell about Ryan Ruth, who you know and I know attempted to assassinate Donald J. Trump. More information has just surfaced regarding that. Take a look at what I'm talking about. This is on dailymail.co.uk. Shock details of Trump assassination suspect Ryan Ruth alleged plans to kill president include Ukraine ties, which I said from the very beginning that the man had Ukraine ties, but it gets even more interesting. It's not just about Ukraine. It goes on to say, Ryan Wesley Ruth sought to purchase a rocket launcher from Ukraine the month before he was arrested for allegedly attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump. The alleged would-be assassin was corresponding on an encrypted messaging app with someone he believed to be a Ukrainian with access to military weapons. A Justice Department filing in the Southern District of Florida claims. It goes on to allege that Ruth, 58, asked this associate to send me an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade or stinger, and I will see what I can do, ... Trump is not good for Ukraine. It goes on, I need equipment so that Trump cannot get elected, Ruth said, according to the filing. Prosecutors allege that this correspondence, which included discussions over price and shipment of such anti-aircraft weapons, is further proof of his intent to assassinate Trump. He sent an image to the Ukrainian messenger with an image of Trump's campaign plane and wrote, Trump's plane, he gets off and on daily. Speaking of the July 2024 failed attempt on Trump's life, he wrote, I wish. Meanwhile, Ruth's attorneys are working to get a judge to prevent the most critical eyewitness account from being included in the trial on his alleged assassin against Donald J. Trump. Here's the details, right? This guy literally tried to get a Stinger missile and take out Donald Trump via his plane. I mean, at least that's what was talked about according to the Daily Mail and the information that they received. I mean, this is insane kind of stuff that we're talking about here. And the fact that he even thought he could get it. And here's my question. If they knew about him doing that prior, why didn't the DOJ take action against Ruth? Just a question on my mind. And who knows why that answer is. But anyway, these are some pretty critical information. And by the way, his attorneys right now, that last line said that they're trying to get rid of a key witness, a very critical witness that saw Ruth trying to basically assassinate Donald J. Trump. Well, the reason that his attorneys are trying to do that, obviously because he is a witness. But I think they've got a pretty solid case against the man. But either way, what I find even more chilling is this next report. This was put out by Network Contagion Research Institute, and they found very shocking information on radical leftists regarding the assassination of Donald J. Trump or even Elon Musk. You guys are going to be chilled to the core when you see what they have discovered. And I'm just going to throw this on the screen, but here it is. It's NCRI Assassination Culture Brief. Okay, assassination culture, how burning Teslas and killing billionaires became a meme aesthetic for political violence. And here's what they say in the introduction. Political violence targeting Donald Trump and Elon Musk is becoming increasingly normalized. Following July 13th, 2024, attempted assassination of President Trump, tolerance and even advocacy for political violence appears to have surged, especially among politically left-leaning segments of the population. This pattern builds on a broader trend NCRI identified in two December 2024 reports, which analyzed how viral social media narratives were legitimizing political violence, particularly in the aftermath of United Healthcare CEO's assassination. The reports found widespread justification for lethal violence, including assassination among younger, highly online and ideological left-leaning users. A spillover effect into online domains is already occurring, as illustrated by the ballot measure recently submitted in California that is macabrely named the Luigi Maggioni Access to Healthcare Act, which is disturbing on so many levels. But a broader assassination culture appears to be emerging within segments of the U.S. public on the extreme left, with expanding targets now including figures such as Trump and Elon Musk. NCRI empirically assessed the shift with original survey data and open source intelligent analysis to assess how normalized and justified violence against the administration has become public discourse. Right, here is their key data points, what they found, right? Murder justification at the top there. 31% and 38% of respondents stated it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk and President Trump, respectively. That is sick. These effects were largely driven by respondents that self-identified as left of center. So specifically in that group, with 48% and 55%, at least somewhat justifying the murder of Elon Musk and President Trump. respectively indicating a significantly higher justification for violence against these figures. What about property destruction, right? Nearly 40% of respondents stated it is at least somewhat acceptable or more to destroy a Tesla dealership in protest. 40%. This is just insane. Let me show you the actual chart here with the survey response that they put together here. And here's that little chart. But you can see justification for murder of Elon Musk and Donald Trump more towards my side. And the numbers there from all respondents, well, 31.6 thought it was justifiable. And left of center is nearly 50%, 48.6%, right? And you could see that's of Elon Musk. The second one over here is Donald Trump. 38.5 thought it was okay by all respondents. And then Trump, 55.2% thought it was justifiable with Donald Trump. Those are left of center. These are high numbers that should not be that high. And then percent who say destroying Tesla dealerships, you could see the 57.6% from left of center and about 40% of all respondents. Shall we say another set of assassins is revealed, if you will? Not that they would actually do it. I'm not saying that. But when you're saying, yeah, it would be justified, that's some scary, shit. Terrifying. I've never in the history seen numbers like that off the chart. And it just goes to show that the left is getting more and more and more radical because there have been no consequences for their actions. We've had congressional leaders get away with violent calls. Nothing happens to him. Nothing ever happens to him. Donald Trump already had 2 attempts on his life. There's tens of thousands of threats against both of them each and every single day, I believe. I think those are numbers that had came out before, both on Elon Musk and Donald J. Trump. And yet this is where we are, where an entire group of people think that it's justifiable. They're just sick in the freaking head. Anyhow, I wanted to get you guys all of that information. I think it's very important to share. Please share this video with everyone you know, and hope to see you at Restricted Republic. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.